Well, hello, America. This is Vinny Chopra and Bo Eckstein, the Vinny and Bo Show. We come live to you every Friday at 9:30. 9:30. Please put your notifications on and come and join us for some fun of taking your business to the next level. We are in real estate, commercial real estate, investing, partnerships, all kinds, plus also the loans. Bo Eckstein, my buddy, is the specialist in loans. How are you, bud? How are you doing, Bo?
Doing well, doing well. Drinking my concoction. Uh, this is water, Himalayan salt. Mario will appreciate this, and cayenne pepper and lemon juice. And I drink this. I've been intermittent fasting for.
Now, where
Uh,
is mine? Hold on. So send me the recipe, how to make it, guys. I
this is
want
this is amazing because it replenishes your salt, your minerals. Plus, the cayenne gives you it's like drinking a 5 hour energy, but natural.
to. Yes, yes.
And
Holy. Is it like a mixture? You just mix it in?
yeah,
So
yeah, just
send me
Himalayan.
the link or put the link in the chat if you want to. We left the other people. Hi there, everybody joining us, watching us. We are live in 7 channels actually today in the YouTube, in LinkedIn, in Facebook groups, and Facebook. Thanks again for liking the show. Please give comments, share, and we are here for a very big show today on house hacking, how you can live for free and build your net worth on the way and also get passive investments. Bo, would you like to introduce our great speaker today?
Yes, yes. He's been with us here once before, twice or three times, actually, many times. He's joined us. Mario, our dear friend in Martinez, California.
Yeah,
He is a best-selling author, an
yeah,
appraiser, a contractor, a
yeah.
house flipper, uh, motivational guru. I mean, he's pretty much he's well rounded, both in business and in life and personal development, which makes Mario special.
Yeah.
And I met Mario through actually Eric Lawson years and years ago.
Yep.
And we're going to talk today about house hacking, which is a great topic because a lot of people getting started in investing or even experienced investors should really kind of look at this strategy because the Bay Area is expensive. There's a lot of coastal markets that are expensive. There's not anywhere to build anymore. So if you're smart and savvy and you can convert garages or you can convert sheds or add ADU units, and that's what the topic of today is going to be about. And it's kind of a timely topic because I'm actually helping a few clients right now. They're buying properties and building ADU units, which now with California's legislation, along with other states, it's just really the way to go if you can figure out how to find these parcels that you can optimize and create additional rent revenue. Because I think the problem is that a lot of people are looking at us like myself. I was looking at a state when I was living in California. Okay, I'm going to go buy in the Midwest, but I just had to change the mindset. And the mindset is that you can create huge rental income, right, from these properties, and you just got to think strategically. So that's going to be the focus of the conversation today, and I'm excited to welcome Mario. And Mario, why don't you kind of take it away and just talk
Mhm.
about? I think it'd be good to go back when you first got into real estate and talk about how you were buying your fourplexes with owner occupied with FHA, how
Yeah.
you then moved out a year later, kind of grew your portfolio with very little cash. And I think people listening will really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys, and
So,
thanks for calling me a guru. If I had water in my mouth, I would have spit it out. Yeah, so house hacking, obviously, as both of you guys know, Bo, you used to live in the Bay Area. You're now in Vegas, but you knew living in the Bay Area, and especially through these last 10 years, you really have to house hack. I was just talking to somebody who was out of state, and I was talking about how much I house hack for myself and how much I help other people house hack. Our good friend David Green refers a lot of people to me, and I help them out
mhm,
that want to house hack. They hear him on the Bigger Pockets podcast,
mhm.
and they contact him about house hacking, and then he sends them over to me, and I basically help build the house hack for them. We're doing a number of jobs right now for them, for David and his clients.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's like Bo was talking about. One of the most easiest ways that to house hack is some kind of garage unit or basement unit or some secondary source that you can turn into income. So imagine, we could start crunching some numbers, but let's just say that you own a property and your mortgage is $2,000 a month. All right, so let's add, if you add somewhere a second unit, you potentially live there for free or close to free. So that's what house hacking is ultimately. That's a quick and dirty house hack. And so if we're looking at a single family home to buy, and this house has maybe a 7-foot or 8-foot basement, but it's undeveloped, and I have to look at that thing and I say, okay, so my mortgage is going to be $2,000, $2,500, whatever it is on this house, and how much would it cost me to build a 1-bedroom apartment downstairs, and then turn around and rent that thing out, make a nice little private entry, a nice little private patio, and then get my mortgage either free or close to free. And that's massive, because right now, it's really, really hard to find housing here in the Bay Area. I mean, I have a studio unit that rents for $1,250. And I'm not talking about in the city of San Francisco. If that same thing was in the city of San Francisco, it'd be 3 times as much. We're talking about 30 minutes outside of the suburbs. So this is a small town, where I live. And it's just, it's one of those things that I'm grateful I got into real estate years ago, because I don't have to, I'm not up against the wall. But for people who are against the wall, these things are really, really a great strategy for securing your kind of foothold, getting a place to lay your head, because that's very important, right? We all have to have a place to sleep. And then secondly, start slowly building wealth. So, Bo, you wanted me to talk about my first deal. The very first house outside of my primary residence that I bought was a triplex. And on that triplex, I bought it with FHA financing. And a lot of people don't know that you can buy a house with FHA finance, or investment property with FHA financing. You can buy up to 4 units with FHA financing. And the advantage of that is, as you guys know, that you can have a lower FICO score. You can come in with way less money down. So instead of your traditional 20% down, you can come in with 3.5% down. And I still remember my down payment on that triplex was $11,000. And guess what? I used a credit card to pay for that down payment, because I had these checks that the credit card company sends you, and so you can actually write a check through your credit card. So I used my credit card to write a check for my down payment on that house. And you buy with FHA, I already did have a primary residence, but we had to technically move into that property for a certain amount of time. But I actually refinanced that thing pretty quickly. And we just realized that we didn't want to live there, which was fine. So we moved back to our primary residence and rented it out. And I still own that property to today. I house hacked that property and added a 4th unit as well. So I had a garage that was there. We converted it to a studio unit and increases the cash flow. That property cash flows itself $5,000 and some change a month is what that property cash flows for us.
That's incredible. So if I heard you correct, it was a 4 unit to begin with, or 3?
3.
Okay, and now it's 4 units.
Correct.
So you bought it. What'd you pay for it, just out of curiosity?
$330 something thousand.
And how much have you put into CapEx or renovation, adding the additional unit, would you say?
I have done a good amount over the years. I've owned it since 2012, and probably maybe sunk into it 50,000, 60,000, something like that.
So you're all in it at 450 or 460 or so? Okay.
Yeah.
What's that property worth today, do you think?
1.2 million.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So listen, $11,000 off of a credit card got him into this property, and now he's got $800,000 of equity, right? So that is phenomenal, and it just shows you the power of real estate over long term. So I think, like, changing focus, and as I'm seeing more and more of my clients from the financing side, it's about being creative and about carving out extra units within the property, whether it's putting a detached ADU unit, or
Mhm.
if you're a flipper and you're starting to, maybe looking at burring properties, right? And then you're looking, okay, there's a single family property, but it's got a detached garage. So when I'm eyeing this property, maybe you can flip it and make 60 grand on a flip, but wouldn't you be way better off keeping that thing, not having the tax consequences,
Yep, yep.
remodeling the front of the house? Maybe it's a house in Concord or wherever, right?
Yep.
Remodel the house in Concord. You're getting 33,000 for the house. Now you take that detached garage and convert it to a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and you're
Yeah.
getting another 2,000 a month, right? So now you can make sense of buying something for $500,000 in the Bay Area that actually will cash flow in a big way. So I think this is kind of like the way to go from,
Mhm.
going forward. It's just like the writing that's on the wall, because you can take it down with high leverage financing, right? And maybe it's your first deal. Maybe you're going to live in the front unit and then convert the detached garage. And like Mario said, you're living basically for free, which if you don't have to pay $3,000 a month in expenses, you could save that money and roll it into future deals. So I think if you're just getting started or an experienced investor, this is something you should look for. I had a client who owned like 65 rentals throughout the Bay Area, and all he does now is do these type of projects. He's buying properties that he can either build an ADU or convert existing structure into ADU units, and he's just like getting huge cash flow. So we don't necessarily, like, when we look at Vinney Chopras of the world, which there's not too many Vinney Chopras out there that have 4,500 doors, right? But the thing is that if you want to reach your cash flow goals, you might not need to buy 100 units, although if you want to get to there, you can. But
Sure.
you could really get your baseline of expenses covered with 2 or 3 properties. And that's achievable, right? It's not overwhelming, because I think a lot of us look at Vinney and go, how are we ever going to become a Vinney? And that's right. That's the question. And so, but everybody's got to start someplace. And what I like about the house hacking model is that you can do it strategically, and you
Yeah.
can move into the property and obtain FHA financing, 3.5% down, right? And not only that, you also get the tax write-offs for your primary residence. You could write off your interest, right?
Yep.
Depending on it, how if you're filing your taxes, but you get the interest deductions, you get the appreciation, and then you get your tenants that are paying down your mortgage. So it's kind of like a perfect storm that I think more and more people are really looking at. And this is like one of the hottest topics in real estate investing right now.
For
It
sure.
really is, Bo. And I do want to tell everybody listening and watching, even later on, hundreds of people watch our show. And thank you so much for being there. Please tell us where you are from. And also, if you have some questions on house hacking, remember, I used to own single family homes. I bought duplex. I bought the 14 units for $180,000. So the 4,500 units came later on, right? So you got to do that start. So make a decision today that you're going to really do the house hacking if you're not in real estate. But this is the best time. The interest rates are so low. If nobody takes action right now, then we're going to miss the boat. So please enjoy. Yeah, no, go ahead, Mario, buddy. Yeah.
Two things. I was laughing when Bo was talking about the property, because he brought up Concord, and we owned a flip, and I'm thinking he's talking about the one that we had on Alameda, right? You have that in your so, because we were debating the entire time, but we had to move volume to pick up other properties and to pay off the property, because when we were flipping, we were having to do a lot of volume. But it was one that we were debating on keeping. Had a
Mhm.
massive 2-car garage.
Yeah.
Uh, if that Garages are a little difficult, I will admit, because see, you have to think about sewer, and
Yeah.
so to get a sewer into a garage, you got to break up the concrete, and
Hmm.
that's why typically like a house with a raised foundation is a little easier, and
Hmm.
adding on to it. But you can do garages. If you get a garage that had an old bathroom in it or something, as long as that plumbing is okay,
Yeah.
that's key right there. Because getting that sewer in is one of the most difficult things. Getting water and gas and electrical, that's not that difficult. Sewer is very difficult to get.
And Mario, yeah, like I guess the question is, if you really look at it, if you take that garage, let's say it costs you 75 or 85 to do a 2 bedroom with bathroom and everything, and really do a good job with it, right?
Right.
Whatever that number is. But if you're getting $2,000 a month on a $75,000 investment, that's pretty good, right, Vinny?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Totally, man. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with rents the way they are right now, Bo, we would have gotten $2,500 a month for that thing.
Right. So you could pay back that $75,000 investment, and it would cover itself in 2.5 years, right? And then you would completely pay yourself back. So
Yeah.
and also right now with mortgage rates as low as they are, I mean, it's just like kind of a no-brainer to lock in long-term debt and then look for these kind of properties that you can house hack. You can add ADUs. I mean, this is a way where everybody should get their start. I mean, it's just you get your baseline. Like, how can I replace my W-2 job? How can I replace my living expenses? Once your living expenses are replaced, then you could devote your attention to working on bigger projects. And I think that's the key, right? Like right now, I'm still in the grind. I don't have enough passive income where I'm like, okay, I can really focus on going and spending a lot of time in the multifamily, like finding that 200 unit building. Where so like if you have 10 or 20 or $30,000 a month coming in, you have more time to really scale yourself up a lot easier than somebody that's kind of working in the trenches, right? So get your baseline of expenses covered by doing some smart strategic house hacking.
Yep, I agree with that. I think, I get asked a lot by younger folks that wanting to buy their first house. Hey, I've been looking at real estate for the last year or two, and I wish I would have bought a year or two ago because now it's even more expensive. And I just didn't buy because I was hoping the prices were going to come down, and things are just not that affordable. And so my number one tip to them is, if you can, look for a house that has a more than one car garage, a detached garage, a little bit of a basement area. Even if it's not much of a basement area, if you can dig out that basement and putting that sweat equity in, that's the big thing. Even if you can't necessarily house hack, you can, like with a secondary unit, you can house hack by sweat equity. You can house hack by flipping the property you're living in. Now, I'm not going to say that it's not, it's like easy, because it's not, because to live in a place that you're flipping, that's difficult to do. But I've seen plenty of people do it. I've done it myself multiple times, and you can get used to doing it. And we all have to remember, you got to start somewhere, you got to grind somewhere, and you really have to continue the grind. A lot of people think I'm going to get 1, 2, 3 houses and then like retire and go live on the beach. I mean, you could if you want, but I don't think it's really going to happen. I think what's really going to happen is to really enjoy what you're doing, so it doesn't feel like work so much anymore. I used to have a goal that I'm 38 now, and my goal was, when I was in my early 20s, I was going to retire by the time I was 40. I kept saying that to myself, retire by the time I was 40. Now that I'm almost 40, I don't want to retire. And I realized that my language changed, and it wasn't that I wanted to retire. I thought I wanted to retire. But as I learned more, I realized I wanted to be 100%er. I wanted my passive income to be paying my bills. And especially now that I'm a father and a husband, and my wife is a homemaker, she homeschools the kids and all that, and I'm the source of income that provides for everybody. And if something happened to me, I want my kids and my wife to be okay. I don't want them to be frantic and become homeless and lose the house and lose properties and so on. And so it gives me a lot of comfort to know that I've built a certain amount of passive income, not enough to fly on jets and stuff like that, but that's okay. It doesn't, that's not what that was not my initial intent. But I continue to work, and so by the time I'm 40, I'm not going to retire. I'm going to continue to work because I really, really enjoy it. It doesn't really feel like work anymore.
See, that's the thing, what you just said, Mario, that's the freedom. When you have your cash flow take care of your expenses, then it's not work, it's love, it's fun. I'm at 68, right? I'll be 69 this year, right? I mean, 30 years later, I wanted to retire at 50, 55, which I could have, right? And I just retired from the W-2 2015, 6 years back. But now it's so much fun because you don't have to get up in the morning, but you do want to. I get up at 4:45. I mean, 4:45, 5 o'clock, I'm up and running and having fun and doing my magical miracle morning and everything. So you're right. I think we need to stimulate our mind. And I'm so glad that, a lot of us people who are watching us today, I hope I hope they will take something today so that they can just change the path to get more and more passive incomes, right?
Yeah, because what you and I both just talked about is something that's what's near and dear to my heart. Is that it breaks my heart when I see people that are stressed out, commuting 2 hours one way to work,
Yeah.
and they get home, they barely see their kids, they barely see their significant others,
Yeah.
and they sit down real fast, they eat, they watch TV, get numb themselves, maybe have a drink or two, pass out, get up, do the same thing the next day. And that's okay for the short term when you're grinding, but it's not okay for the long term. And to me, it's not really okay if you're doing that for the long term for somebody else. You should be
Yeah.
doing that for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you can figure out how to do that for yourself, and it's difficult. I had a W-2 as well. I was employed as well. It was very scary to stop my easy cush paycheck that came every single week and
Yeah.
all of a sudden start producing myself. I will admit it was difficult, but guess what? That's part of personal development.
Yeah.
And just as like you learn to enjoy your work, it's not that we don't have stress. It's not like, I mean, come on, Vinny's dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars, other people's money, all this sort of stuff. So there's a certain amount of stresses that come along with it.
Yeah.
I have stress, Bo has stress, but see, we can re-engage that stress and we can say, hey, that's just a little bit of pressure. And that pressure is helping us grow. And you learn to become happier and happier and happier and let these things that maybe used to stress you out not stress you out.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a massive thing. Like the first step, house hack, get something, get your mortgage, close to paid for or whatever. And then the second key is don't go blow that money. Don't go buy the new car. Don't go buy the Louis Vuitton. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Start stacking that away and building the savings account and do it again and do it again. And if you do that 3 or 4 times, all of a sudden you're generating income. Now, this is the key right here. It's why I tell my kids, I want my kids to own a property. I want to help them buy at least one property that cash flows at minimum $500 a month. Because, see, at 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old, the average American is going to have debt. They're going to have a car payment and they're going to have debt. They're not going to have a source of income that comes in the mailbox every single month without them doing anything while they're sleeping. They're going to have a payment that's expected of them every single month. So if you can get yourself to getting that one paycheck, $500 a month, it's just like clockwork, $500 a month, and then you can double that, and you can triple it, and you can quadruple it. Before you know it, that $500 a month turns into $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month is $120,000 a year, and that's not that far out of the realm achievable. It's actually very achievable. I've seen many people do it. And if you can do that, you can change your life and you can change your kids' lives and you can change your kids' lives.
So true. So true. Guys, everybody watching us, just to let you know again, this is Vinny and Bo show. We come live to you every Friday at 9:30. Usually we try to keep it 30 minutes long, so it's short and simple. But then at the same time, what we also do is we brand this whole package into our show, which is this one right there. Oh, does it show there or no?
Yeah, it showed. It showed. Yeah.
Oh, it did show. Okay, sorry. The big one. So anyway, so it becomes a podcast also, which you can, watch and things like that, right? Vinny and Bo show. Well, it's just in the background. Any other things you can add to it, Mario and Bo?
Yeah, I think we should dive in. Okay, like kind of like circle back is, Mario talked about finding basements that's got 8-foot ceilings. We talked about detached garages. What are some tips, or what would you say people should start looking for where there's opportunities to do, maybe even with a single family home, converting it into 2 units, what should we be looking for?
Yeah, doing one of those right now, actually. Doing 3 units in a single family home. Yeah, so what you're looking for is, in this particular property, they had a partially converted 2-car garage that was attached. So what I mean by partially converted, they just put some paneling up, but they still had the floors, the old concrete floors from the garage in there. They just put some paint on them. They probably used it as an office or storage or something like that. But they built a separate 2-car garage on the property. So here you have, it's more than 400 square feet. 20 by 20 is your kind of typical 2-car garage. It's a little larger than that. So you have almost 400 square feet. So we're putting a bathroom, a bedroom, actually a 10 by 10 bedroom, a living room and a kitchen all in there. and they're going to get roughly $2,000 a month for that thing, possibly more. It's going to be brand new. All of it's going to be brand new. So there you go, right there, quick and easy. That addition to the in there with material and all that, probably going to run them about $50,000. So it's not too steep. And so that 50. So let's do the math. $2,000 you're bringing in every month. So in a few years, that thing is paid for, and then that will start being pure cash flow right there for you. And that construction will last 50, 75, 100 years. You got to do a little bit of upkeep here and there, but overall, as far as it's new, like as far as like CapEx goes, you're not going to have much maintenance on that thing for at least 5 years before you even put a dollar into it.
Vinny's gonna build an ADU unit in his house in Danville and rent it out.
You got a few garages we can do for you, Vinny.
Yeah, we got how many? 5 garages or whatever. I know. I didn't realize the tandem one was for the limousine.
It goes all the way back.
Yeah.
Limousine now too, huh?
The other thing I wanted to share, just a small anecdote. We've been trying to look for the gardening lights, right? The transformers. For 3 electricians have come here. They can't find the transformers. We found out a couple of days back, they put gardening lights on 110 voltage.
Oh.
They put all the wiring for 110. So it's no transformer, it's a switch.
Oh man, that's crazy. That can be dangerous if it's not done correctly. That's all.
I'm gonna get it all fixed and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's so good to have you, Mario. And the key thing is, guys, everybody listening to us, I hope you will come back. The thing is, it's the cheapest money out there. I just got $22 million loan at what percentage? 2.68%, even lower than my Black Hawk home percentage. I'm paying 3.25 here. And it went from 3.75 for one little signature from my bank. They said, Vinney will reduce your by 0.5% at this house we just purchased, because everybody's refinancing. So if you're not refinancing, you are missing the boat. You're really missing the boat. Please do that. Take the dead money out. That's the other thing I want to talk about. Velocity of money is very, very important. See, because if you have some money still stashed away in the equity, pull it out and do that renovation like Mario talked about, house hacking or garage or like that, and bring that income. That was amazing, how you bring that. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people are sitting on debt equity in their properties that are like, okay, well, you're not making any returns. Yes, you've created a lot of equity, but you can't realize you're not getting any cash flow because maybe you live in the property or whatever. Somebody the other day had like house worth 1.5 million and they owed 400,000. It was a rental property, a single family home.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't you take that $1 million of equity and go deploy it where you can make $10,000 or $15,000 a month of cash flow? It just, I think people need to. It was great that they bought and they have that nest egg, but wouldn't it be better if you were making 5, 6, 10 grand a month from that $1 million as opposed to just sitting there?
Sure.
So I think people got to start looking at doing those things while the financing is so cheap, because money it probably won't be this cheap forever. Mm-hmm. And so if you can lock in 30-year rates, in the 2s right now, I mean, you should be pulling that out and utilizing it in good, productive ways, not going out and buying a brand new Mercedes or Beamer, but, invest that money and create return.
To make more money, to make more cash flows. So right. About, one thing I wanted to mention was, remember, if you even paying for the mortgage, let's say 3%, but you're investing in getting 8%. Hold on. That's 5% arbitrage. You made 5% after you pay the mortgage. You're still making on that $1 million. 5% is a pretty darn good money. 50,000 extra every year you're going to make, right? But that's only 8%. I mean, deals like we are not selling any securities, but reach out to us. We have passive investment with tax benefits and all those kind of things in assisted senior living, in house, in the multifamilies, in hotels, all those things that I am getting. I have been doing it and for 14 years and all that. But the exciting thing is that you will get 15 to 22%. Holy cow, 15 to 22%. And there's out there, if you get the right syndicators, right real estate opportunities, And so please reach out to Bo right there at the bottom. Please text Bo at 925-852-8261 and just go to boexteen.com and to talk about investing passively or partnering or learning how to do purchases in commercial real estate and all those things, then please text us, me, 925-766-3518, or go to vinneychopra.com. Mario, it's been a pleasure, bud, to have you. Any last comments you can tell our beautiful, great people? We are on all channels, lots of different Facebook groups, and everybody's listening and watching us. Yeah.
I would say if you're getting started, pick up the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. That will start changing your mind frame. And every single investor that I know, including you two, have read that book. And it was my very first book that kind of set me on that journey of understanding what real estate does for you. And buying assets and lessening your liabilities, to stop buying so many liabilities and buy more assets.
I appreciate that. No, that's so true. I mean, Rich Dad, Poor Dad book, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I mean, all those are the backbone of where all the entrepreneurship, starts.
That's right. Right.
Thank you so much for joining today. How can people reach you, Mario, buddy? Yeah.
Just Google my name. I don't think there's two of me out there. So Mario Mazzamuto, you can find me. I'm on social media and all that sort of stuff. I'd be happy to help out.
Excellent. Again, we are in the Bay Area. I'm right here in Danville, Blackhawk area. Mario is right here in the East Bay in Martinez. And Bo Exteen used to be here. Now he's in a wonderful Henderson, Nevada, enjoying his life there. His parents have moved out there. Thank you so much for joining today. Last comments, Bo? Anything, buddy?
No, just everybody have a great weekend. I've got a busy day ahead of me, but I'm anticipating a couple term sheets for clients. I've got maybe about $7 million in term sheets I'm waiting for back from some lenders. So it's a very exciting day. But also, yeah.
Awesome.
Let's crush it, guys. Move the needle. See you next week. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mario, buddy.
Thanks, guys.